Alright, peoples, you want me to read you a really short story that explains a lot? It's called Death of a Racehorse by W.C Heinz, published The Sun, July 29, 1949. They were going to the point for the sixth race in Jamaica, 2 years old. Some making their first starts to go 5.5 furlongs for a purse of $4,000. They are moving slowly down the back stretch toward the gate, some of them cantering, others walking, and in the press box, they stop their working or their kidding to watch, most of them interested in one horse, Airlift. Jim Roach said, full brother of Assault. Assault, who won the Triple Crown, makes this one too, by bold adventure himself, a Derby winner out of Igual, herself by the great equipoise. Great names in the breeding line, and now the little guy making his first start, perhaps, the start of another great career. They were off. Well, although Airlift was fifth, they were moving toward the first turn, and now Airlift was fourth. They were going into the turn, and now Airlift was starting to go third, perhaps, when suddenly he slowed. The horse stopped, and below in the stands he could hear a sudden cry, and the rest of him still trying to run, but limping. His jockey, Dave Gorman, half falling, half sliding off. He broke a leg. Somebody holding binoculars to his eyes shouted in the press box, "He broke a leg." Down below, they were worrying for the rest, coming down the stretch now. But in the infield, men were running toward the turn, running toward the colt, and the boy standing beside him alone. There was a station wagon moving around the track toward them, and then in a moment, the big green van they called a horse ambulance. Gorman was crying like a baby. One of them, coming out of the jockey room, said, He must have stepped in a hole, but you should have seen him crying. In his left front ankle, Dr. J.G. Catlett, the veterinarian, was saying, "It's a compound fracture, and I'm waiting for confirmation from Mr. Hirsch. Hirsch, you know? Okay? To destroy him." He was standing outside one of the stables beyond the backstretch, and he had just put in a call to the Kentucky Derby, where Max Hirsch, the trainer, and Robert Kleber, the owner, are attending the yearling sales. When will you do it? One of them said. Right as soon as I can, the doctor said, as soon as I get confirmation. It was an ordinary horse. I done it right there. He walked across the road and around another barn where they had the horse. The horse was still in the van. About 20 stables hands in dungarees and sweat-stained shirts, bare-headed and wearing old caps, standing around quietly and watching with the Dr. M.A. Gilman, the assistant veterinarian. We might as well get him out of the van, Catlett said, before we give him the Novocaine. It'll be a little better out in the air. Page 2. The boy in the van with the colt led him out then, the colt limping, tossing his head a little, the blood running down and covering his left foreleg. When they saw him standing there outside in the van now, the boy holding him up, they started talking softly. Full brother of Assault. It don't make no difference now, he's done. But damn, what a grand little horse. Ain't he a horse? It's a funny thing, Catlett said. All the cripples that go out, they never break a leg. It always happens to a good-legged horse. A man, gray-haired and rather stout, wearing brown slacks and a blue shirt, walked up. Then I better not send for the wagon yet, the man said. No, Catlett said. Of course you might, just as well. Max Hirsch may say no, but I doubt it. I don't know, the man said. There'd be a time in the morning, Catlett said. But in this hot weather, the man said, they had sponged off the colt after they gave him the shot to deaden the pain. And now he stood, feeding quietly from some hay they had placed in his feet. In the distance, you could hear the roar of the crowd grandstand. But beyond it and above it, you could hear the thunder and see the occasional flash of lightning. When Catlett came back the next time, he was hurrying, nodding his head and waving his hands. Now the thunder was louder, the flashes of lightning brighter, and now the rain was starting to fall. All right, he said, shouting at Gilman. Max Hirsch talked to Mr. Kleberg. We've got all the confirmation. They moved the curious back. The rain falling faster now, and they moved the colt over a close pile of loose bricks. Loose bricks, yeah. Gilman had the halter, and the Catlett had the gun, shaped like a bell with the handle. At the top of the bell he placed the crowd silent, the colt on the colt's forehead just between the eyes. The colt stood up still, and then Catlett, with a hammer on his other hand, struck the handle of the bell. There was a short, sharp sound, and the colt toppled over on his left side, his eyes staring, his legs straight out, the free legs quivering. "Ah," someone said. That's all they said. They worked quickly, the two vets removing the broken bones as evidence for insurance companies. The crowd silently watched. Then the heavens opened, the rain pouring down, the lightning flashing. They rushed for cover in the stables, leaving alone on his side near the pile of bricks, the rain running off his hide. Dead in an hour and a quarter after his first start, Airlift, son of Bold Venture, full brother of Assault. Guess what? The Kentucky Derby was a sham last year, and they were still running the horse because they gave him a fucking vaccine, guys. All right? They give us vaccines, and they keep us in this. If you don't get it, it's Death of a Racehorse by W.C. Heinz. They wouldn't stop horse racing for a day. They wouldn't listen to anybody about fixing our vaccines because they like to slowly freaking poison us. All right? They plan this. We need vaccines, but it needs to be minimal. I don't get what people don't get. They keep us on a system, all right? And this goes along with bloodlines and all that bullshit. You guys, why is the autism rate so high right now? Why is there no cure for it? Why is there no cure for Alzheimer's, fibromyalgia, all the other things, AIDS, HIV? Because they keep us on a system. Don't you guys get it? And they're trying to fix our vaccines, but they're not allowing it because they want to keep us on the system. They want to be rich. They don't want a middle class. I don't want a fucking middle class. I'm not a middle class. I don't care what I am. I'm a freaking person. And you know what? These are animals. They do it to our dogs. Did they not chip our dogs? Get with it, people. The word vaccine in America is so freaking god dang sensitive, it's disgusting. But they can go around guess what? Guess what, people? The United States gave the vaccine to everybody else. Poland, they built a autism hospital in like a week. Yeah, exactly. Last time, a horse loss was like, what, in 1930? Oh, guess what? That started World War II. Right.